Good evening and welcome to True Encounters. I'm your host, Marvin Allen. If you or anybody that you've known have had a sighting or encounter and would like for me to share it on my channel, please contact me. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. To all my subscribers, we do have a Facebook page. It's called True Encounters with Marvin Allen and the DUG Pack. It's a page where everybody get along, where your voice will be heard, where you will be part of the show. You can call in anytime. We don't just talk about cryptids. We talk about paranormal. We talk about ghosts. We cover the whole perimeter. We cover everything. We're going to talk about everything, even though it's based on Doug Man. But we decided that we're going to talk about everything because different people have different sightings and encounters and experiences. So that's what we're going to do. We got new encounters coming, new sightings, and we have new eyewitnesses. So if I'm not telling the eyewitness encounter, then they will come on the show. But we got a lot of new things in the works. As y'all know, I was doing tyjay's episodes. What can I say about her? Is that she's amazing. Her stories defy the odds. That's why I say stop believing in the impossible and start believing in the possible. Because we don't know what's possible. We don't know why these creatures took to her. We don't know why these creatures let her get so close to them and their young ones. We don't know this. She don't know, but she still seek to find the answers. Is why. Why her? Why her? She's still trying to find out that. And I thought that I would never, ever find another encounter like that. But bam, guess what? I found another eyewitness that bonded with these creatures. And I have talked to her. Now, mind you, the only way that I will share hers if she give me permission to upload her encounter and her experiences that she had with not one but multiple creatures. So until she tell me that it's okay, then that's when I'll do it. But I will ask her. As y'all know, tyjay is coming on the show. I just don't know when, but I don't want to push her and make it seem like I'm trying to rush her to come on. So I'm on her time. So when she ready, she ready. But trust me, she coming. And when she come, all your questions will be answered. All of them will be answered. So what I'm going to do when she do come on, I'm going to post a few days before that. And I'm going to have y'all send in questions of what y'all want to ask her. And the rest, y'all can ask in the chat. So get ready for that. So hope it'll be soon. Like I said, we got a lot of things that we working on. We trying to make this a better year than last year. But trust me, it will get better. So I'm not going to keep y'all waiting. Without further ado, let's jump right into tyjay's. 's. 'Episode. 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 'Epis So as y'all know, Tyjay was telling her grandmother that something got to be done about this great creature because now she was getting scared. Now these police was coming around on a regular, and she know that they was up to something. She know that they probably already knew that these creatures existed, but they didn't know is that they are on Tyjay's grandmother property. She worried about the guys that went back and told them. She worried for these creatures. She definitely is worried about the alpha male because it's hurt and it don't look the same, she said. So Tyjay said, days go past, no action, no activity. She said on the fifth day, she gets up, get herself together and she eat. She goes out back. She goes out there to do what she always do. She wants to get that feeling. She wants to get that feeling that these creatures are okay. She say, but when she get out there, she looks over to her right and she see trash all over the place. Now, mind you, now she wondering, did a raccoon do this? She just coming up with what she think probably did it. So she goes down there. She say, but when she get over there, she smell a foul odor of urine, feces, and blood and rotten meat. She said it just smelled it awful. Now she said she been around these other creatures. And she said she never smelled nothing like this from them before. So she know that this great creature did this. So she goes in the house. She tells her grandmother. She goes out there, put on some gloves, and she cleans it up. She cleans it up, pick the trash cans up. She put the trash back in the trash can. She goes back, goes in the house, take off the gloves, throw them away, and she washes her hands. She goes back out back and continue to look in the tree line because she want to get that feeling that these creatures are okay. She says she stands and sits out there for several hours. That's when she looked deep into the tree line and she started to hear noise, sticks breaking. She started to hear noise coming from the left, coming from the side where this gray creature always come in at. So she looks over in that direction. When she look over there, she see this thing break the tree line on all fours. That's when she backs up to the back door. She opens it and she goes inside. She locks the door behind her. She looks through the little window. She say this creature comes out and it walks down towards the other side. But it don't get down to the path where the black ones come in at. It stops. And when it stops, it walks across her grandmother's property towards their house. So she say this creature couldn't have been no more than 5 feet from the steps. And then it turns. And when it turns, she said this thing just started sniffing. It started sniffing. And then it walked back to the steps. She said, but it had its head down when it was walking back over to the steps. Then she said this thing just lifted his head up real quick and looked it up at the window she was looking out at. Now, mind you, Tyjay say these things are not dumb. Because she said, how did this thing know I was looking out this window? She said when it looked up at her, she turned and she slid back down the door again. And she sat there behind the door. She said she could hear this thing come up on her grandmother's porch again. Now, mind you, this time her grandmother is in there. Her grandmother look and say, Ty, why is you down on the floor like that? She say, Grandma, that great thing is out back on the porch. She say, what? She say, shh, my grandma don't make no noise. Tyjay say she can hear this thing walking around. She can hear it sniffing and snorting and making all kinds of sounds. So she said after a few seconds, 15 to 20, because she wasn't long, she heard this thing just run. It just took off. It took off and it left. She said after about a minute, she got back up and looked out the window to see where this thing was at, but she didn't see it. She said after a few more minutes, she gets that feeling. She gets that feeling. Now she know that these creatures are around. She opens up the back door and she goes out. And when she goes out, she looks up in the tree line. And when she looked, she see the alpha male coming out again. But she said it still ain't walking right. And she said it's getting fragile. She said it came out and stood at the edge of the tree line. And it looked over at her. But it didn't come. It just stood there. Tyjay said she couldn't do nothing but cry because she not used to seeing this creature like that. And she said it really hurt her. So she just standing there watching this alpha male. And it's standing there looking over at her. She said it took a few steps and walked out the tree line like it was coming towards her. She said, but she could tell the way it was walking that it was in so much pain. So it stopped. It stopped and stared at her for a few seconds and then turned and it walked back up in the tree line. Tyjay said she wanted this alpha male to come closer. But she said at least she got to see it and knew that it was all right, that it was still alive. So she watched it as it vanished inside the tree line. And she went in the house and she went straight in her room. And she sat down and she cried some more. She said because she says because she hurt. She hurt because she know this creature days are shortening. She said she could feel it. So she said she wind up dozing off, going to sleep. So she said while she was asleep, she had a dream. Now mind you and listen. She said she had a dream that this great creature kept attacking this alpha male over and over and over again. And she said that this great creature wouldn't stop. It just kept scratching and clawing and biting at this alpha male. So she said she finally woke up. She said she woke up sweating. And she woke up breathing heavy because now she really worried. Now she's really worried because now she's thinking, what if this thing attacked the other two and it just take over that whole area? That's something that she don't want to happen. So she sit up for a while and she wind up going back to sleep. She said the next day she get up and her and her grandmother go in town. And Tyjay said while she was in town, she saw those two guys who came out on the property that time. And she said she seen them talking to some more men. She said she don't know about what, but she had an idea because they pointed over there towards them. And Tyjay told her grandmother, she said, Grandma, they pointed over here like they telling them other guys something. So they came and walked over towards Tyjay and her grandmother. And they asked them, they said, look, we're not trying to cause you no problem, but if it's okay if we come back out on your property. The grandmother said, no, I don't want y'all out there. Please stay away from my home. It's no big dogs out there or nothing like that. So the guy kind of smirked, Tyjay said, and went, okay, if you say so. And they walked off. So Tyjay said, see, Grandma, I told you. They up to something. They up to something. And I'm scared for those black ones. But Tyjay always knew that those creatures wasn't dumb. They would not come around if somebody else is there. She knew that. She said that she want this gray one gone. So Tyjay and her grandmother head on back home. Take the stuff in the house that they got, you know. Tyjay sat down and watched TV for a while. And she says she happens to glance out the window. And she see some deer. She see two deers. Now mind you, she said they always used to come through the grandmother property during certain days and certain, certain month periods. But she see two deer out there, and they out there and they just, doing what deers do, they grazing. So she calls her grandmother and say, look, Grandma, deer. The grandmother said, wow. She said, I ain't seen them in a while come through here. So Tyjay goes out back. She goes out back and stand, and she watched these deer. She said, and as she watched these deer, she noticed after about a minute or two that they stopped doing what they was doing and they looked up. And when they looked up, they looked over to where that gray creature come in at. This is what Tyjay said. They looks over that way. And when they looked, they took off like they was spooked. And they ran in the opposite direction, down towards the other end, and ran straight across her property into the tree line. So Tyjay looks over there, but she don't see nothing at first. But she said just when she was getting ready to go in the house, she see this bush move. And she say, what the? Then she see that large gray head pop up. Now she know what spooked those deer, this gray creature. She said then it came out on all fours. And when it came out, she said she could hear this thing growl over at her. Like this thing was mad because she lost the meal. Tyjay said this creature growled over at her. She said that thing was there stalking those deer. And she said this thing growled over at her. And then it started to walk out the tree line. And when it walks out, it walks over towards Tyjay. Tyjay backs up to the back door and she open it. But she don't go in right away. She says she watched this creature walk. She said then this creature just took off fast. She went in the house, she slammed it, and she locked the door. She didn't even look out the window. She just listened to see if this thing was going to come up on her grandmother's back porch again. But she didn't hear nothing. So she waited over there for about 15 to 20 minutes, she said. Then she looked out, she peeked out, and this thing was gone. Now mind you, she say this creature is doing everything it has to do to take over this area. So Tyjay said this thing was gone. So she goes in her room. She sit down. She said while she was sitting down, she calls her mom because she said she ain't talked to her in a few days. She called her mom just to see how she doing and asked about the baby. So the mom said, I was thinking about bringing the baby down there next week. And Tyjay said, no, don't bring her down here. You know, I'll be back up there soon. So she finished talking to her and she hangs up the phone. Tyjay said her grandmother calls her. And when she calls her, she asks Tyjay, she said, can you go and check the mail? So Tyjay goes out and she checks the mail. She said when she goes out and check the mail, she noticed a car up the road just sitting. Now mind you, Tyjay said it ain't sitting in front of no house because there's no neighbors there. It's just sitting on the side of the road. So she gets the mail and she hurry up and go in the house. She tells her grandmother, say, Grandma, it's a car just sitting up on the side of the road, just sitting there. And her grandmother say, that's strange. Why is it sitting there? They broke down. She said, no, I seen that car before. This is what Tyjay tells her grandmother. She said, I seen that car before. Ride through here. So they finished talking and everything about that. That's when Tyjay said her grandmother gets a phone call. And the phone call came from the guy who always used to come over there. So basically, it was the grandfather's best friend. He calls her and he asks her, have y'all been having any more trouble out of this, this gray one? And the grandmother said, yeah, it done knocked over the trash. It's been walking on my back porch. It's been urinating all over the place. And he said, well, I'll be out there one day next week. And so the grandmother said, okay. So she hung up the phone with him. Tyjay says she goes out back and she just looks up into the tree line. She want to get that feeling because she want to see this alpha male again. But nothing. So she goes in the house. Grandmother and her, they eat dinner, watch TV for a while. Tyjay goes in her room and she sits on the bed. She sits on the bed and she looks at the window. She said an hour passed, 2 hours passed. She said the third hour is when she gets that feeling again. She jumps up and she runs to the window and she looks out. And when she looks out, she sees these yellow eyes and this dark silhouette breaks the tree line. And she watching it. And when it walks out, she know it's the alpha male. She know it's him because she know the way it walks now. She said this thing walked across her grandmother's property. And it walking slow. It's hurt. And she know it's hurt. She said, so this creature comes across the property and walks over to Tyjay's window, and it stands there. She says she looks into this creature's eyes, and she said they start not to look the same. She said the eyes just don't look the same. They not real bright like they used to be. She said, and this creature just looking at her. She said that's when this creature spoke to her again. And she said, this creature said, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. She said this creature told her that she'll be okay. Tyjay started to cry again. She said she gets real emotional when this creature come around. She said, because this creature still got the marks on it from this gray one. She said this creature put his hands back up to the window again, and she placed hers there. And Tyjay just stared into this creature's eyes, and then slid her hand down the window. And this creature put his hands back down, and it turned and it walked away so slow, Tyjay said. She didn't leave that window. She watched as this creature got up into the tree line and then just vanished. That's when Tyjay turned and sat back on the foot of her bed, thinking about this creature and how long that it had left. Now I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna upload this, and I'll see y'all on the next episode of Tyjay. Thank you.